Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Prophecy Code Lifestyle Podcast. Fatima, how are you, my love?
So good as always, but today I'm actually super excited because I think the guest that we have today is going to be of significant value to everyone, but mostly us, Danica. Mostly us.
Let's be very honest. We have her
Yeah.
on for us.
Yeah, that's actually what we did, guys. It's very, very selfish in our endeavor. So I want to introduce you all to this magical gem, and she has such a beautiful resume. So I took like little snippets, and I just want to make sure that I get this completely correct. So, ladies, today, and any gentlemen out there, we are joined by Natalie Gianoglio, who is an emotional regulation practitioner and a specialist wellness counselor and the creator of the self-anchored method. And she also lives in my native land of South Africa. So it makes me super proud to bring more South Africans into the conversation. But if you were wondering what Natalie does in very short terms, she basically helps people build emotional resilience and nervous system regulation skills so that we can perform, we can live, and we can lead from a place of steadiness rather than stress. Do you see why I told you I needed you more than anybody else here?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for
How
welcoming
are you
me.
doing?
I'm
Yeah, you're
great.
absolutely.
Really excited to be here to chat to both of you. And yeah, I want to see what this is all about.
Yeah. I feel so out of the loop. Like I need to be like, I need to have an accent because
I feel
Oh,
this
please do
way
what?
too.
but I bet I have an accent to you
Yeah,
guys,
yeah,
Yeah.
right?
you do.
Well, less
Well,
common because we watch American TV. Like I feel like we're exposed more to American
Oh,
TV and
correct.
to American lifestyle versus you being exposed to our accent on the regular and our lifestyles.
oh, that's so
Yeah.
interesting. I have never even thought about that. So this is our quick tangent for the beginning. The television that you watch, this sounds so stupid. The television that you watch is American based, right? Mostly. So
Yeah.
then
Yeah, American
are there a
TV.
lot of like, I guess, TV shows that are South African based, or does that not exist?
No, it does exist. It
It
does.
does.
There's a lot of Netflix shows and whatnot, but I think we're so accustomed to hearing the American accent, but there are different American accents too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so we even know the nuances, I think, between the different
Yeah.
Yeah.
accents. Yeah, we're
Yes.
pros.
Oh, that's
Yep.
so interesting. Yeah, that's because I am always like, do I have an accent to somebody, I don't know, who's like I have a client who's in the UK. But she never mentions like I mention her accent, but like she doesn't
Yeah.
mention mine because it's not that, I don't know, it's not that great. It's just not that great. Like maybe
Oh,
if I was
rubbish.
like in the South and
I think
then
it's
maybe it'd be
great.
different. Maybe it would be different if I was like if you spoke to my husband, he has this like Jersey accent, and if you
Ooh.
spoke to some of my friends who like are from Alabama, then it would be this bigger deal as opposed to just
Hmm.
I'm just from upstate New York. It's not that, nothing crazy.
I feel like that's a pretty big deal.
Let's make it
Yes,
a
I
big
was
deal.
just going to say
Let's make
that.
it a big deal. Oh my gosh. Well, Natalie, I am so
Hmm.
excited to talk to you, to get to know you more. And I feel like this is such an important topic nowadays, being able
Mm.
to understand, well, one, understand our emotions, right? Like bring awareness to the plethora of emotions that reside inside of us, right? But then to be able to regulate them in a way that's productive and healthy, both good, or I don't even want to describe them as good and bad emotions, but like heightened emotions, low emotions, however you want to describe them. I feel that this should be something that's like implemented into our education for like,
100%.
right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
tell me, I guess, a little bit about yourself. Like, what started your journey of interest in emotional regulation, nervous system resetting, and everything like that?
Yeah, so I think it started with that. I think from childhood, I think it was a need and a want to be seen like most people do, to be understood and just feeling a little bit like invisible in a sense as a child, but at the same time, obviously having gone through different types of trauma. There was a lot of death in our family from a young age, and so I feel that I was ultra sensitive. I was an ultra sensitive child, and yet I suppressed a lot of that, and it was when I look back, there's always that sadness. You think, oh my goodness, I wish I had spoken up more
Mm,
because you don't know what you don't know.
right.
But it gave me the ability to sort of see people from a different lens. And so I remember being a kid looking at, for example, at a restaurant, looking at a waitress and thinking, I wonder what her story is. I wonder what she goes through. I wonder, who is the person inside of what I'm seeing in front of me. And I remember having that from very young. And then, of course, this developed into an interest into wanting to study psychology. And that's obviously unraveled and turned into working primarily with children. And I mean, children, wow, children are amazing and unfiltered. And the younger they are, the more unfiltered they are, and the more sometimes like blunt, but 110% real they are, which is so refreshing, but also sometimes quite scary.
I can imagine.
Oh dear.
That's incredible. Do you feel, so as you were talking, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I can resonate with that so much, where I almost I wanted to be the person that I wish I had when I was younger, if that makes sense. Like, I wish that I had somebody when I was younger to be like, "How are you?" Or like,
Exactly.
or just like just a simple question of "How are you?" And so from a young age, I was like, "I'm gonna be that person for other people. That's what I want to be able to do." Is that how
Exactly.
you felt when you were, or does that resonate with you too?
100%. That's exactly what happened. I think that
Mhm.
it becomes sort of like what it feels like on that side of the fence or the chair or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you want to provide that space for people because you know that people are so much more than what is happening on the surface.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
So,
when
yes.
you went to school for psychology at first,
Yes. Yes. So,
and did you start to have an interest there? Because psychology is so broad. Did you
oh,
start to kind of narrow it down to like, this is what I want to do?
goodness, it took so long, I must be honest, because I mean, psychology is a rabbit hole on its own. And so, I got my first degree, then my second degree, and then I got a master's degree. And that's sort of where I started to branch off and work with children. And that's from there, then sparked off nervous system regulation and trying to sort of understand, okay, what is really happening here. And when, in a very long story short, when I started to realize that I needed to be working with adults as well as children, was when I started to notice that children would start coming back to me. They would go for therapy, would come for therapy, excuse me, and it would be amazing, there'd be amazing progress, and then 6 months down the line, we'd have them return, and the parents would say, "Well, Natalie, they're doing the thing again." Can you fix them and then give them back to me? No, I'm kidding. And so we started to look at it, and I noticed that a lot of these parents were completely dysregulated
Mm,
themselves. And so
yeah.
you have this tired mother dragging her child to therapy, saying, teach my child to self regulate. And me going, okay, but wait a moment.
Yeah.
This is something you need.
Mm,
I can see why the dysregulation is happening now, because at home it's completely dysregulated. So naturally, your child is going to fall into that same pattern again.
right. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. And I try to, as a mommy,
Hmm.
I have learned that myself too, and I've tried to help other mommies recognize, or dads too, but recognize that we are their calm in big feeling moments, and we provide that opportunity for them to, when they are feeling these big emotions, which in a little body, they're big, right? So, and
Huge.
it's very true to them how they feel it. And if we
Hmm.
are responding in a big way as well, then they are not learning how to regulate that big emotion for themselves. But if we provide them an opportunity to like model behavior where we can look at the emotion, have the emotion, experience it, but almost see it as like a wave, and we do that
Hmm.
with them, almost like co-regulate together, then
Exactly.
we're teaching them those skills that they can now, they're like, oh, mommy does this or daddy does this. When I have a big emotion, it's not scary. They don't dismiss it. They don't say like, go do something, go over there. Like they don't say like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Don't cry, don't cry. Like mommy and daddy are able to just provide space for me to feel it. It's not that scary. And then they show me and walk with me through that emotion. I find that so many adults that I work with are
Hmm.
not recognizing, like, I go back to their inner child and I'm like, let's talk to
Yes.
them a little bit and let's work on how were you able to navigate those emotions as a child, because everything that you did as a kid, now you're discovering you're still doing it as an adult, but it's misaligned with like who you actually want to be. But we have to like relearn it and go back in
Exactly.
order for us to really immerse into like the person that we want to be in your adult life too.
Yes, 100. I love everything you're saying. It's so spot on. And, you know, number one, you cannot teach what you do not know yourself. You cannot model what you are not modeling yourself. And so, how many of us, honestly, how many of us were taught how to deal with our emotions? No one.
No.
No one. No one I know in
We
the history of humans. Right?
know. And I think it also is generational dependent because I find that
Hmm.
like nervous system healing right now is the buzzword amongst millennials, but it's
It is.
based on the way that millennials grew up. Because think about our parents' generation. Our parents' generation were the ones that were like, do what I say because I told you to do it, not
Exactly.
to help you understand why you should do it. Or
Hmm.
it was very much a scenario of, whatever happens in life, we don't embarrass ourselves in public. So let's just sweep it under the carpet, under the rug here, and this is where it's going to stay. But there was never really a lot of reinvestigation of what's under the rug. So it's such an interesting phenomenon for me to watch it now and see how nervous system healing is coming to the forefront. Because I'm also like, there are generations that have kind of made this become what it is now.
That's it. We're paving the way. And like, I feel that a lot of people are actually learning this alongside their children because they were never
Mm.
given the space. I mean, you can't teach what you don't know. You can't. It's not possible. And so at the same time, we're giving ourselves grace and we're going, but nobody ever said, I'm allowed to be angry. I'm allowed to be angry. Women are often told we're not allowed to be angry. And so we revert to tears, you know, whereas men are told they're not allowed to cry. And so they revert to anger. And so all of a sudden, we're being told, okay, your anger is allowed. You're allowed to be angry. And now we're going, okay, but what do I do with this? How do I be angry? You
Mm,
know, which is
yeah,
which is amazing and so exciting,
right.
because it's
Mhm.
changing.
It's super scary too as you're going through it. I know a lot of
Mm,
my clients they've developed these like maladaptive behaviors to regulate themselves when they have an emotion that comes up that they don't necessarily know how to navigate. And so,
mm,
as a mindset coach, my job is to kind of unravel that a little bit for them and help them to see that, like, I understand this behavior is what we're working on, but the root cause of this behavior is you're not allowing yourself to feel something. Like, what is it that you actually don't want to feel? What emotion are you running away from that comes up and you're like, nope, can't do this. I'm just gonna go eat. Or nope, can't do
mm,
this. I'm gonna go drink. Or it's like an emotion that comes up that either we're scared of or unsure of or
yes.
completely confused by. We're like, I don't know
Mm,
what this is. I know when my husband first felt stress, he was like, what is this? It's like this this is called being stressed. Like this is and that's okay. He was
wow.
like, get it out. Like why? Like as if it was like this like bad sensation in his
Wow.
body. And me giving him space to be like, yeah, this is a welcome to the human experience. And I'm so happy you could join us here on Earth. And
Uh,
you're gonna be okay. Like this is not
yes.
like you are not that special that you're the only one that has felt this. And people feel this all the time, and we're gonna be okay to get through this. Um, my kids, it's interesting that you talked about because I'd love to talk more with you about kids specifically. So
Mm,
sometimes they'll say, just the other day, I have a 6 and a 9 year old. My 6 year old was very like short tempered in the car and just like very flat. Like and that's usually not her. And I was like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, like
oh,
you don't have to know. Let's just sit for a little bit. But she was crying and so upset. And I said, what's the matter? Is everything okay? And she's like, I don't know. Like she could not
yes.
put words to those feelings. So, and
Mm,
in that moment, oh, it makes me so emotional because I know how many kids like don't get this.
mm,
Um, in that moment, I knew it was so important for me to not like dismiss it. Like I find that a lot of kids are like, well, I can't help you if you don't know. But they truly don't know, right? Like they honestly don't know. She's 6. She's been on this earth for 6 years. So I had to help her to like navigate how did your day go? What happened during the day? Did you have a good day at school? Did you have fun with your friends? What ended up coming to light was that she got in trouble. And she got in trouble for pushing another kid and on the playground. And she felt so remorseful and like almost ashamed of that behavior.
mm,
For her to say, I feel really ashamed that I did something poor today. I made a poor choice today. She wasn't going to tell me that, but
no.
inside it felt sad. It felt so big that it she didn't know how to express it other than through tears. And
Mm,
then I walked through her like with her, okay, that's like a yucky feeling when like we do something and we're like, oh, I wish I didn't do that. And then you feel bad about it. And And then you start to think about, am I a bad kid? Like, but you're not a bad
Mm,
kid. Sometimes we just make poor choices. And like, I felt in that moment when afterwards, I think I cried really hard, but I was like,
yeah,
oof, like these are the moments that are so imperative to like help them understand like it's okay to not know. And sometimes we might not know, right? Like sometimes it's just you feel in a funk. I mean, let's be honest, we're all females here. Sometimes I really don't know why I'm
yeah,
feeling the way I'm feeling, right? It's
yeah,
just one of those days.
Mhm.
But for little kids to put words to it and to have them understand it is, I find to be so valuable. I say all that because when you are meeting kids, what is like the actual like work that you are doing with them as you're seeing them?
yeah. So the work with children, um, I mean, we always say is that children will never tell you, I've had a bad day. They will say, can we play together? And that is where their language is. It's in their play. It's in their body language. So they will literally project onto their play, onto their body, onto how they treat their sibling,
Mm,
what they say to you. You will know this. You said it, Danica. This is not how she normally is. That's not my little girl. Something's off, and so that's where it begins. Is you start to see that, and they don't have the language to say what happened. They don't have, and we as adults often don't have the language ourselves. you know
mm,
so these young little brains are not going to find that language. They're going to act out. And so imagine what would have happened if, for example, you said, well, stop crying. If you can't tell me what's wrong, actually, you just need to be quiet because whatever. What would that have done to the emotion? And what
mm.
would that have done to the connection between the two of you? you know
Right. Yeah, it would have taught her that like that feeling isn't worth any value, right? Like to just dismiss it. And also, I think she probably would have felt very confused in herself. Like, is this wrong to feel this? Like,
exactly.
is it wrong?
Spot
Yeah.
on. So children are very egocentric, and it becomes, what's wrong with me? What is
Mhm.
wrong? What did I do? And I bet you anything that each one of us can think of an incident from when we were young where we thought, well, what did I do? Instead of being given that opportunity to say, well, this is what happened, and I felt icky, or I felt sad, or I wanted to cry and I don't know why. Exactly the same way that your daughter did, except we might not have had the regulated adult presence to reflect that back to us, you know? Yeah.
So, do you think that there has been like a change right now with, because obviously as time goes by and we get more information and more literature, um, do you
Mm.
think that there's been an evolution in the thinking of parents too in this journey?
Yes.
Because I can imagine versus when you started versus where you are now, the mindset must be completely different because things like social media also exist and we have access to
Mm.
that type of knowledge. So, what have been your learnings in the time period since you began to now in terms of how we think and how we have evolved with our own emotional well-being?
Yeah. I mean, so many things have changed, Fatima. I think to look at it from one angle, we've got a lot more openness to looking at yourself as a parent and sort of understanding how is my emotional state affecting my child, and how can I regulate myself and model this to them so that they don't have to carry that burden, because sometimes they are not even reflecting their own emotions. They're actually reflecting your own emotions back to you. They are
Mm,
mirroring you. They are the mirror.
Mm.
And so, you as the adult are, I always say, the pilot of the nervous system of the home. You're piloting it, and they're going with your sort of your direction. So in that
Mm.
sense, I've got a lot more people identifying and wanting to learn more about this than ever before. It's been incredible, the willingness to understand emotional regulation, but also realizing that perhaps they didn't receive that for themselves. So again, how can I teach something that I was never taught myself, or
Mm.
that I,
Yeah.
I never learned? So it's changed in that sense. And then there's also the other side of the spectrum is like over identifying with the emotion, you know, and it's like, it's almost like marrying the emotion and like it becoming your identity, because emotions are not supposed to stick around forever, actually. They're passing through, they're visitors. And so how do we hold that emotion in one hand and honor it and regulate through it, and at the same time not stay stuck in it so that it doesn't become our personality? That's actually what regulation is. It's not trying to move past it, it's not trying to become it, it's letting it pass through. Yeah.
And being
I
an
love that.
observer to those emotions, I'm sure. So, like, my question around this, because I think the three of us have a pretty good understanding about nervous system healing slash somatic healing, and I think a little bit as well into breath work. Can you give our viewers just kind of like an overview of what that actually entails? Because I had a personal experience where, after I had left corporate, I was super burnt out. My nervous system was just on overdrive, and I had no idea. I didn't know until somebody had to teach me how to do somatic work with myself. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not actually just the driven individual. My nervous system is on fire all the time, and I don't know that it's in overdrive. And I've been operating like this for maybe 25 years. So, can you help everyone just understand, like, what is the overview context of what
Of the
you help?
breath, and
Yeah.
where the breath comes in. Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. So, I mean, our nervous system, or our bodies, contain the autonomic nervous system. Let's start there. So, the autonomic nervous system is everything that runs automatically in your body: your blood flow, the pH in your blood, your digestion, also your fight flight, and your breathing. Okay, and the only part of your nervous system that is both automatic and controllable is your breathing. And so that gives us a little door in to helping us control the nervous system. And how we do that is, for example, when we inhale, when we breathe in, our heart rate will speed up, right? And when you exhale, your heart rate slows down. So you can use your inhale and your exhale to make your heart rate slow down, which then sends a message to your body that what? That we're relaxing, we're calming down, and we can use that to as a lever, to manage our emotions, and we can teach it to your child, and you can do it with your partner, and you can even do it driving. It's something that we can adapt. There are
Mhm.
different types of breath work that you can do when you are maybe wanting to meditate, but if you are in traffic in Johannesburg at 6 p.m. and there are people, cutting you off, a deep breath will serve you well. It will serve you well. The other beauty of the breath is, if you've heard of the vagus nerve, have you? Yeah. So the vagus nerve, we know, is the mind body connection. Um, the vagus nerve is toned with our breath. So you can literally strengthen your vagal tone like a rep at the gym every time you practice your breathing. And so by doing this, you're building your resilience, and your ability to move through challenging moments, through stress, through whatever it be. And also, you can manage your energy. So if you are it's 3 o'clock and you reach that 3 o'clock slump, but you've got a meeting, you can use your breath to energize you. It doesn't have to necessarily be calming. And that's the beauty of breathwork. It's so customizable. It's beautiful. Yeah,
Mm.
that's where it fits in. I mean, I get
So
geeky about it.
no, I love it. I love it. And I listen, can I just tell you that this is something Danica and I know are getting geeky with already. I can see both of us are making notes now and we're just like firing up this tank because there is so many legs that this podcast is probably going to grow. But I was just thinking that, when I was kind of going through corporate, like my mom used to always say to me, meditate, breath work. It's so good for your body and your nervous system. And I would be like, that's so woo-woo. What? I don't have time for that. So
Mm,
what do you think about the ideology in itself of it being woo-woo? Because I feel like since I've learned how to do this and I've had to learn how to work with my body, that it's kind of opened up my eyes. And I was just like, the secret has been under my nose the whole time. And it was just telling me to
pardon the
breathe. And I
pun.
was not, yeah, and I was not listening. So, what do you think about that ideology of it being very woo-woo versus what you
Yeah.
actually see in practice?
It can be both things. You can make it woo woo if you want to. That's your vibe. But there is so much science behind it that actually backs it up. So it is both. It is. How do I even? When you're so excited, you want to like say everything, and I almost want to pull myself back and say, okay, let's just stick to one thing. But breathwork is number one. It's possible to use it with children. You can use it with anyone in the world, and it's free. Okay. Once I teach you how to do the breathing, you can go and do it for the rest of your life. It's so beautiful. Um, but it is an instant mechanism. It is instant. You're not taking a pill. You are using your breath to regulate your body. Um, and there are different types of breathing. So we can breathe just to be aware of where we are. You can sit there and all of us, we can just take a deep breath now. Do that and notice what happens there. There's a slight little shift that happens. That's one breath. Okay, imagine after 2 minutes of doing this. It doesn't, it can be woo woo because it was started by the ancients many, many years ago, but it is backed by science as well. So, yeah, I think there's just so much research being done that is going to knock people's socks off
Yeah,
um, when it comes to breath work. Yeah.
it's incredible. Do you do you find aside from breath work, are there other tools that you personally, and maybe for adults, that you suggest that they use for regulating, aside from, because we've talked about like bringing awareness, like holding space, not sitting in it, using your breath as like such a powerful tool that literally is with you 24/7, right? Hopefully it's with you 24/7. Are there
Definitely.
other tools that you find that you suggest or use yourself when it comes to regulating your nervous system?
Mm. I think, we make it such a big thing, guys, but anything can regulate your nervous system. A
Mm,
cup of tea in your garden can
yeah.
regulate your nervous system. A good conversation with a girlfriend can be a
Mm,
regulating practice, walk outside, reading your book. Anytime you actually it's all about getting into your body, isn't it? Because we live up here all the time and it's all brain based things. And then when we sit down at the end of the day and we feel our bodies are tired or maybe we're feeling a little bit wired, that's when you land and you notice, okay, I didn't really look after myself today. Or maybe you switch it off and you go back up to your head. But anything that brings you into your body, play, adults don't play, okay? And I don't mean play on your phone. I mean physically go outside and play, like go hit a ball, go play paddle, go whatever it is, go paint,
Mm,
go to a sip and paint, or if all those things are actually nervous system regulating practices. There's
yeah.
playing with your kids. It's
Mm.
also so fun. And then that's a co-regulating. I mean, that's a regulation party.
It sure is. Yes. I love that you mentioned like almost it's getting out of your head. I have I try to help my clients with having something that's like a physical stimulation instead of like a mental stimulation. So like you have to physically do something, right? Like you have to physically like if you're walking outside and you're taking off your shoes and grounding yourself, you physically are walking and you have this physical sensation that's not an internal sensation. Does that make sense? Like
Yes,
instead of feeling this like fire that's inside, you have it be outside touching you so that you kind
exactly.
of are able to be out of here all the time. Whether that's like splashing your face with cold water or being
Exactly.
able to just feel the sunshine on your face, like that's a physical sensation that's coming from external.
Mm,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And so that takes you from the space of just being in your head and maybe, circulating all these thoughts and whatnot, and bringing you into the now.
Mhm.
Okay, because you're noticing what happens when you place your feet on the ground and there's the little tickle of the grass, or maybe the sun's warm on your face that day, and all of a sudden, in the space of a few seconds, your body will change state, and what else will happen is your breath will slow down, and it will do that naturally.
Yeah,
So yeah, so
I
it's
love
it's
that.
a live feed of what's happening. Your breath is a
It
live
is.
feed of what's happening with your nervous system.
Mhm. You had
Yeah.
mentioned, and I actually wrote this down before you said it, so I'm so happy that you said it, but sometimes you feel that we become too much in our feelings. Like we almost use those as like a crutch sometimes. And that's not healthy. Like I always tell my clients, listen, I'll sit here in the mud with you, but I'm going to be very honest. Like mud inside of a butt crack is not very comfortable. So like I'd like to get out of the mud and I'd like to go take a shower. So we can be here for a little bit, but I'm not staying here. So like
Yeah.
if you want, you can be here, but like then we're getting out of it. So there's always like this forward motion or visualizing it like a wave. Like you can feel the emotion and it gets very, very tense and it's super high up here, but you got to let the wave go. The wave just doesn't stay. Like
No.
that's not how it works.
Yes.
And that's not productive in nature either. Uh, and I think that's a fine line because my husband will say sometimes, because he very much is like not a feel your emotion type of person. I think I've taught him that, but he'll say in moments where like we're having a conversation and he just wants to get to the fix it, do it part, he'll say, I don't care about your feelings right now. What he means to say is it's not that he doesn't care. There's not too much space for them right now. Like you can feel it, but like 10 seconds. And then like let's move into a direction where I have helped him to be like, could you give me 20? Like, could you give me 20 seconds? I've also taught, I use this popsicle stick thing with some of my clients where if they find that they're too much in their feels or too much in their busy thoughts all the time, um, I'm like, if you need to vent, I need you to go grab a popsicle stick. Each popsicle stick has a time on it. So, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, like you can pick it up, hand it to your husband or your partner or whatever. And like that's your allotted time to like word vomit all the things,
Love
get
it.
your feelings out, have that space. I've also heard of like worry hour. So if we notice that we're a constant like worry person, or we're always thinking about like, what about this? What about this? What about this? To be like, actually, no, like there's a time and a place for this. I'm going to designate like this time during the day to download that. But it's causing me to be unproductive if I just stay in the feeling all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I love the popsicle stick. I mean, how genius is that? You've got 2 minutes. Go. Feel
2 minutes,
angry.
go.
Done. Okay, your anger's done. It's enough.
Done.
You cannot be angry anymore.
No, let it
Time
go.
up. Cut.
Let it go.
You know, and I mean, I could just imagine your kid going, I'm not actually, I'm still busy, let me do this. You know, and so, you know, like it's true, emotions are fleeting, however they do need to be felt, right? So I always compare suppressing our emotions to taking a blown up balloon and holding it underwater. It's always going to take more effort to keep it under there, and eventually you're going to get tired and it's going to come up at the most inappropriate moment. So when we acknowledge what we feel, and obviously you can do this in your own way, you can journal, you can go to a therapist, you can go to coffee with your friends, whatever it is. Emotions are just energy in motion, right? We've heard this before. And so energy needs to move. This is why kids naturally move when they are feeling anxious or
Mm.
whatever. They get up, you know, and we've become so socialized to sit down and be still, and now we've got all this stuff in us, in our all this anxiety or anger or whatever it is, and now we're sitting and we're using our brains to try and process it, which is going to go nowhere, right? What better way? And I'm sure gym is one of the best ways, you know, workouts is one of the best ways to move your emotions and to let out whatever it is. You know, what better way than to breathe it out, to walk it out, to like get it moving, because that's what it's supposed to do. And that's where you're not going to pitch a tent and live in it, because you've given it its time to shine, you know. And that's, yeah, that's what we mean by not sitting and living in that emotion.
I have a question around that though, because like I feel like sometimes we're missing the awareness portion. So, you know, Danica mentioned we first have to have the awareness of the situation before we can get into the nervous system regulation, the breathing, etc. And I had a very interesting scenario with my husband actually the other day, because we're those people that get into bed, we need to do box breathing so that we can wind down,
Cute.
bring ourselves back to homeostasis. And sometimes we do guided meditation, and I have to be the speaker, which is quite annoying because also I want to be guided, you know, meditation. But one thing I noted with him, which was quite interesting, was that he lives a very, very busy life. He has a very, very busy job. He barely even has time to message back his friends during the day. So he's constantly on the loop and on the wire. And we did a box breathing technique. And then I said to him, "What do you feel in your body?" And he said, "I don't know." And I said, "Don't think about it. Just what do you feel?" And he, for the first time, he actually admitted to me, he said, "I don't know what I'm feeling in my body." And I said, "Whoa, whoa, 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 wait, hold on." So when you have to make a decision about something and it's something really big, do you need to have all the facts about the thing that you're about to get into? Or do you ever just check in with yourself and go, "Oh, my gut tells me this feels good," or "My gut tells me that this doesn't feel so great." So I was like, "Do you ever check in with yourself?" And he was like, "I don't know that I'm listening to my body or checking in with my own emotions. I'm just going because that's what we've been kind of like structured to do now, right? If you think about how our lives are, we're constantly online, we are constantly replying to messages, emails. We have to be readily available all the time." And I looked at him and I was like, "You are doing exactly that, being available all the time, but never to yourself." So, how do we build that awareness into people that may not be aware that they're dysregulated? because that was my struggle with him. I was so shocked, going, "How do you not know?" And he was
Mm.
like, I don't, what do you mean? Like, my brain is telling me. I'm like, no, not your brain, your body. What do you feel inside? And it was such an interesting thing for me because I realized he's not the only person that's probably feeling like this. So how do we build awareness when we're in the thick of this technology-driven environment in our lives?
Jeez, what a juicy question. Yummy. I think because you know how many people can relate to this. I think every second person, and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with him at all. I think that this is just autopilot at its best. You know, it's the do and checklist method of living. And even, I'm afraid to say, even the box breathing became another checklist thing,
Yes,
you know.
it did. It totally did.
It's just, okay, we've done the box breathing, and now what do you feel? Oh, I'm supposed to feel something now too. I didn't realize we were supposed to do this, you know. And and yes, and so it does become autopilot, and that's why breath awareness in this case is a better fit than box breathing. So box breathing is regulation breath, and that's really great when you want to regulate or down regulate your nervous system to like a parasympathetic rest and digest mode. Wonderful. However,
Wait,
it's not always,
before you move, tell everyone how to do box breathing. So at every step, when you're explaining so, because now I've explained something that I know I'm doing, but maybe
yeah,
our
yeah.
viewers don't know. So
Okay,
box
so
breathing,
box
what is that?
breathing is it's a regulation breath. It consists of an inhale for usually a count of four, a pause at the top of the box for a count of four, an exhale at the side for a count of four, and then another pause at the bottom. And so you visualize this box and you inhale for a count of four, you pause for a count of four, and then you exhale and then pause again. And what that does is that it takes the nervous system, and it balances it out so that your body reaches almost like a homeostasis mode. It's supposed to slow your heart rate down. It's supposed to calm you and get your digestion sort of moving. That's why it's called rest and digest. That's what our body needs to do when we're resting. However, I find for me and for many people, the counting sometimes throws us off. Why? Because your count is for your body and my count will be for my body. And so when I'm breathing and somebody else is counting for me, I'm like, wait, I haven't caught up. And then I'm pausing and now I'm actually building stress in my body. And then it's exhaling and you're like, holy crap, this is not relaxing. And all of a sudden you're actually upregulating your body instead of downregulating. And I was that person. That was me. When we did yoga pranayama, I was like, I hate this shit. It's not for me. And then I became a breath worker, imagine. And it's all about finding the pace that works for your body. Okay. And sometimes that's not counting. Sometimes it just starts with breath awareness. What is breath awareness? It's quieting down, sitting down for, set your timer for 2 minutes and just notice your breath. Maybe you want to notice it in your belly. Maybe you just want to notice the breath in and out through your nose. Don't count it, just notice it.
Mhm.
Notice how your body sort of swells as you inhale. Notice how you relax when you exhale. 2 minutes of that. That's where the awareness starts. And that is often actually where I notice a lot of people getting emotional because that's bringing you down to your body, not up here. All of a sudden, you're feeling your body breathing and you're going, actually, I'm feeling quite sad, because we block away so much.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I might have gone off on a tangent here, but did that
No,
answer your question?
no, I
Yes.
love that. I love maybe. I mean, you answered that question of like, how does one bring awareness to
Can we
their
try?
emotions? Or you have to, you actually have to sit.
You
You
actually have to do
actually have
it.
to
Yeah.
like pause
Do the thing.
and do the thing. Yeah. Without having it be forceful either, I would assume. Like it can't be like, okay, we're gonna sit for 2 minutes right now and I want you to breathe. Like, no, that's not gonna work.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, I find that, and this is something I like made up completely on my own, but whenever my daughters or I like our bellies are upset or like we're feeling a certain way. My daughters call it a funk. Like if they ever feel in a
Mm.
funk, they're like, I'm just in a funk right now, Mom. I'm gonna go upstairs and do starfish. And I
Oh,
call it starfish because it's just laying like completely out here like like a starfish. And you're
okay.
just like laying on the ground and just like letting your body melt into the ground. And when you do that, you also have to be aware of your breath and aware that your body is just relaxing
Mm.
and like kind of soaking into the ground a little bit and feeling super heavy but just like completely relaxed. um and I love that they do that, like that they do it on their own
Amazing.
now. They'll be like,
Amazing.
Mom, in a funk, gonna go do starfish. I'm like,
In the middle
fantastic.
of a supermarket. I'm having a moment, Mom.
Having a moment, just let it be. But I feel like giving space and time to be able to just feel, that is probably what allows for awareness to exist, right? And then maybe it opens up opportunity to speak about the feelings that you're having. But if I ask clients, what are you feeling right now? But like they they can't identify that right away because they didn't even like get give it space or give it time or give it like the proper environment to know what they're feeling right
Yeah.
now. They can't access that yet. It's almost like you have to have a key first to be able to unlock the door, and that key is like a pause moment. Like here's the key
Yes.
for the pause.
Yes.
Then you can go in and unlock the door. And oh boy, inside that door, are you ready for what we're gonna find? But it's good. But it's all good
It
stuff.
is. It's
Yeah.
needed, isn't it? It's like I said
Yeah.
in the beginning, we all just want to be seen and understood.
Mm.
And it's like sometimes that's by, we want to be seen by ourselves and just take a moment to understand what's happening for you because we rush through life
Hmm. Yeah.
every minute of every day. It's like, our schedules are super busy. Even when we're home, it's like autopilot, make dinner, do this, make sure the dishes are, etc. By the end of the day, I feel we like drop off into sleep. That's it. We don't
Mm.
give that in between space to be aware. Because if you think of how we're supposed to live, is we're actually supposed to wind down. Our nervous system is supposed to be up. That's why our cortisol is up first thing in the morning and it keeps us going, and that's the drive that makes us function through our day. But we're supposed to get that drop, and our nervous system is supposed to slowly wind down. And we're naturally supposed to get sleepy when the sun goes down. But obviously, we've got all these factors um, that we live with in modern lives. We're not gonna all go live in caves,
Yeah.
and put away our phones. This is not realistic. We have to be realistic. And so the awareness is such a simple tool. It's just sit down, lay in a starfish position because that's flippin' amazing, and I'm gonna try it myself. I'll send you a selfie. And just feel yourself breathe. Feel
Yeah.
yourself breathe. It's amazing.
Feeling heard and seen. I can't stress to people enough how amazing being able to provide that skill to other people, like be the person that's like, I see you, I feel you, I'm breathing with you. And
Mm.
that's so valuable. And then being able to also note when you need that.
Mm,
There's so like I find myself to be very, and this is probably why Fatima and I are like soul sisters, because I know that she feels me and she sees me and she breathes with me. And I find that I connect with people
mm,
that are like that. When I have people in my life that do not ask me, how are you? Which I find to be such a simple fucking question. If I'm being very blunt and honest, like,
exactly.
let's be
Yeah,
honest. It's like
yeah.
this is just a simple
Bare
Basic.
question.
minimum.
This is very
Bare minimum.
basic.
Basic, minimum, like not a
Yes.
lot of effort involved. Um,
Yeah.
but if somebody like, and you read that person too, everyone's always like, oh, you're so busy, you're doing this, da da da, how's work, how's kids, how's da da da. But if someone were to stop and say to that mom, to that dad, to that whatever, kid,
Mm,
anything, right? How are you? I
mm,
bet a lot of people would be like, well, I don't, hold on. Like, do you want to know? Like, are you
yes.
really asking? Do you actually want to know? And I bet there'd be a lot of people that would probably start crying, like, because
100%.
that simple hold space for another is like game changing. And the people
Mm,
that don't do that in my life, I find to be very disconnected with. I'm always like, why can't I connect with you? And then when I go back to it, it's because they don't have that emotional intelligence, or they don't have awareness that like it's really important to just ask this simple basic question of how are you, but not in passing. Because how many people say, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? How are you
mm,
today? And it's just
mm.
good. How are you? Right?
Yes.
No, no, no. I actually want to know. Like, I
Mm,
want to know, how are you doing? Yeah.
mm, mm.
So
So
important.
profound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you for saying that about me, Danica. I feel the same way about you, but birds of a feather. Okay. So now the three of us
I
that are
know.
here, birds of a feather, 100%. But
Yeah.
you know what I struggle with is like, I sometimes, like, especially recently, life has been, I feel like this year, let's just talk about this year. This year has moved incredibly fast and at an incredible pace that I looked at my calendar and I was like, oh my gosh, it's July, like next
Mm,
week. That's how close it is. And so I find myself all the time trying to catch myself and regulate as things are happening with me. But it is so difficult because if you
Mm.
do not regulate often enough, you end up paying tax, and that tax adds up and it adds up and it compounds and it grows interest, and then it becomes
yes.
something that is a different beast that you're not even aware of. So, what would you say is the ideal world, if we lived in utopia, how often should we be regulating and self-regulating throughout the day? And what does that look like? So obviously you spoke about, the different breathing techniques before.
Mm,
Is that the same thing that we should be looking to do, or is it something else? Is there another magic trick?
yeah. Wow. Utopia. If we could invent it, let's all go live
Yeah,
there together.
please, Lord. And let us
I'm
all be very rich
totally
there.
up for it. Yes. It must be an island though, if
If
possible.
1000%, yes.
There we go. Perfect. So I think that um, I would never ever advocate to people, you must do this and you must do that and you must, because it's the same as saying to someone, you must do Pilates every single day. And now I hate Pilates, and you're telling me, Natalie, the only way for you to get the body of your dreams is to do Pilates.
Mhm.
I will resist it. I will despise you. And it will only end up hurting me. So it needs to be something that you can do, that you don't mind doing, that you enjoy doing, that then becomes part of your routine. Breath work is a tool, And it's easy, and you can do it anywhere. You can take a deep breath in the car. You can do it wherever. So that's fine. But if it doesn't resonate with you to sit and do 2 minutes of box breathing, far be it from me to tell you that's what you have to do. I feel it's
Mm.
so much better for you to go find the thing that helps you regulate. And it's the thing that will become natural, second nature to you, because that's what's going to build those neural networks in your brain, right? Because it's then going to start feeling good. It's going to be like, wow, you know, I spoke to someone and I didn't get activated from them. Like I totally let that pass, where in the past I would have jumped on there and, like, met his aggression with aggression back, or whatever the case is. And so every time you when you find something that works for you, be it taking regular walks or painting or breath work or whatever it is, when you find that thing and you naturally start to incorporate it into your day, maybe you make it part of your routine. We brush our teeth every morning, we have breakfast, you maybe go to the gym, you do what you have to do. Hook it onto one of those habits and do it as like bookends on to those things. So we habit stacking, and
Mm.
eventually you will naturally do it. So you develop what we call, if it's breath work, you develop what we call breath intelligence, which is where your breath naturally adapts and regulates for you without you needing to consciously do it. You just realize that, oh, I sighed there. I intentionally sighed there because I could feel my nervous system, sort of rising, and I needed to reset. And I naturally did that without wanting to, because I've been trying it for so long. And so, yeah, I mean, breathwork obviously being something that is easy to do anywhere, and we can stack onto more things. I mean, you can't go paint before your meeting, or maybe you can, but it's a little more difficult, to do that type of regulating activity. But find the things. You can even combine
Yeah.
them. Music
Mhm.
is amazing to
Yeah.
regulate you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find that it's really hard if people say that I'm stuck in sympathetic, like nervous system, like I am just
Mm-hmm.
stuck there and I cannot seem to access, I'm speaking for myself. I'm stuck. That
Yeah.
that there's a way to like, is it a lot of work? Like, do you feel like that's like a lot of work of uncovering root reasons why you're stuck in sympathetic mode or drive? That's one question. Like, do you think that it's a lot of work to get out of there? And then two, do you find that like it can happen where you are able to actually get unstuck, so to say, and have this harmony between like when sympathetic is useful and when parasympathetic is useful, and like you can kind of flow between the two appropriately.
Mm. Wow. Okay. So it's so difficult to answer that, because it's a general thing, and I don't
Mhm.
know what the background is, or what the reason for being in sympathetic or fight and flight is. I know that a lot of people, most of us are, in fact,
Mhm.
in fight flight, just because of the situation around the world, of perhaps, for example, in South Africa where we live, there's a high crime rate, and so we're always sort of bracing ourselves when we're out and about, and there's different reasons in the US why you would be in fight flight as well. And I think that it's become almost a new normal, sadly, that it's more common to feel your heart rate elevated and slightly anxious than it is to sadly feel relaxed and regulated. But it's not impossible. It just needs to be intentional, and it needs to be, how do I say this? It's repeated action over time.
Okay.
It's not a once off. exactly the same as physical fitness is. I wish we could go to gym once and come out and be like, that's it, I'm ready. When
Ta-da!
amazing. I wish. In the same way that I wish we could do one practice or, have one single session and be like, that's it. My nervous system is healed. Fantastic. It's not. It's action, progressive action over time. Because remember, you didn't create that. That didn't happen overnight.
Right.
That was progressive action, things that
Yeah.
happen that sort of piled up in your nervous system.
Yeah.
And so it's not impossible, but it takes time and patience and consistency. That's
And
all.
consistency. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it so important? Like everyone's listening and I'm sure they're like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah, but
but why?
why? Yes, but why, Natalie?
But why,
Well,
Natalie? But
but
why?
why? Well, I'll tell you. So, when we will start with what it's like to be regulated, right? Beautiful feeling. When you're
Mhm.
regulated, I want to compare it to being on the beach on holiday, right? Where there's nothing to worry about. All you have to worry about is where you are going to get lunch from, or taking a dive in the ocean. Um, your whole system is relaxed. You feel like you're connecting well with your people, your
Yeah.
partner, the children, whoever. You feel like you're happy. You feel connected to yourself. Often I find people are like, oh my gosh, my tummy is not bloated. I'm so relaxed. So the digestive juices are moving, guys. you know um when you're not stressed, you are inspired. You have access to all these wonderful ideas, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get home and I'm going to start this, and I'm feeling good about myself. And it's we want to be that way because that's where, number one, we're at our best. That's where our body functions optimally. That's where your body will rest most deeply, so you'll have restorative rest. And I mean, restorative rest, it could be a podcast on
Yeah.
its own, right?
Hmm.
How
Yeah.
vital is that, and how many people are not getting that?
Mm.
Me. Me too. And I
Well,
think
I was going to say everyone, like the two of
yeah,
us, Danica and I, are perimenopausal. So, like, can we
same.
just have a 100% recovery night, please,
Ugh.
every night, forever? Amen.
I can't even look at my watch anymore. It's just not my friend right now.
I
It's not being
know.
kind to me.
Welcome to the club of perimenopause. Very fun here. Hope you enjoy your stay because the next
uh,
elevation of this Jumanji is menopause. So we'll be
oh
all right. We'll be
gosh.
all right.
Yes. Tell me we'll be okay. Just say it.
No, we listen, we absolutely will. But I was reflecting on what you said now, Natalie, and it was so important because Danica, I love Danica. She's so like, I need to know the reason why. And it was
Yes.
very it's fair, it's pertinent. I mean, any person that's listening to this would need to know exactly why. And I came to face my own demon about it because I told you obviously living in hyperdrive many, 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 many years. And when I started doing somatic work, I realized that I had chronic pain that I didn't know existed. I was always complaining about this pain, and I just thought, oh, well, it's a genetic thing because I'd been for an MRI. It's my hip. Been for an MRI. They told me I had hip instability. And when I started doing the real ugly work and therapy, I started working with my nervous system, started working with regulating myself, and slowly over time, I realized that the chronic pain was not so chronic anymore. And I was in shock. I mean, I was seeing my chiropractor so often. He was like, I can't have you here all the time. Like, you need to
Give the
pay
others a
rent.
chance.
Yeah, like get away from me. And so I went back to therapy and I said, is it possible that this is the thing that's been happening with me? And she just laughed. She was like, I know you've read The Body Keeps a Score, so why are you
Mm,
asking? And I was like, because I'm in shock that I didn't know it really could happen like this. It really, really
Mm,
can. So when
mm,
we ask questions like why, like think about those things in your own body. Like I know it sounds woo. I get it. I mean, I have this conversation with my clients all the time when I'm like, I need you to do some breath work. I need you to do some affirmations just to take your mind away from the things you're thinking now and put it in a different place, right? Um, but it is something that comes up very, very frequently with me when I'm working with clients, and I don't know what is the perfect way to package nervous system healing, and because you don't know until you get there, until you've done the work, and
mm.
until you start seeing these things for yourself. So, how would I package that to someone?
Yeah, I always find that the experience is the most valuable teacher. So you don't know the power of your breath until you can't use it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
or
mm,
until, so for example, a lot of people will come to me after they've had panic attacks and say to me, I didn't know I had anxiety, but
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
other day I was at the mall and I couldn't breathe and I thought I was dying, and then the doctor said, actually no, you're having a panic attack. What the hell is happening to me? And I mean, an anxiety attack actually starts long before it begins. If you look at the breathing pattern, it shows that this anxiety attack is starting before, and so the nervous system is feeling something. It's just that the
Mm.
mind has not been made aware of it. Um, and I think what you're speaking to, Fatima, is just it's it's not to get people to buy into it. It's that it can become preventative as well.
Mm.
If you just start noticing, let's just for argument's sake, let's just start noticing our breath 3 times a day. You don't
mm.
have to do anything else. Just
Okay.
take a pause 3 times a day and go, how am I breathing? And you can do it
Okay.
now. Notice how you're breathing now. Sometimes your breath, you didn't even realize you were holding it, for example, right?
Mm.
A lot of people hold their breath. Sometimes our breath is very chesty, right? And that's usually a sign that we're a little bit anxious.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're yawning. That's a deep breath. That's a deep inhale followed by an extended exhale. And that's your body naturally regulating. So I think just giving them the invitation to notice before a long list, laundry list of things to do, because they ain't going to do the laundry list. They're going to tell you they're going to do it. Maybe some of them will, but
Mm.
from my experience, it's like, oh, thank you, Natalie. And then they leave and they're like, yeah, I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okie dokes. So it's
Yeah.
just tiny
Yeah.
I
reminders.
think reminding them too that, so I say to my clients, like, I love that you want to put into like your health and hygiene protocol or your bucket that now we're going to like weight train. We're actually going to take care of muscles because you've made it a non-negotiable to brush your teeth. Fantastic. I'm glad we've established that. Now we're going to put into it that we're also making it kind of like a standard of ours that we're going to take care of our muscle. And I'll say, what are other parts of our body that you feel are should be included in this hygiene protocol or hygiene, like where this is the body you were given. Congratulations. Like this is the one. And what are other parts? Quite often I feel like they miss the nervous system and I'll say, well, what about the body's like primary command and communication network?
Mm,
Mm.
Like, what do you mean? Like our
exactly.
nervous system. Like, do you think that that should be anything that we tend to or look at or bring awareness to? Could that be something that we also put into this like hygiene protocol or hygiene regimen for ourselves, right? Do you think it's as important as brushing our teeth? And like that helps them to understand, like, oh shit, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of is. And brushing your teeth doesn't take that long. In fact, it coincides with the 2 minute
Mm.
game. 2 minutes brushing your teeth. If we can take 2 minutes to brush our teeth,
Yeah.
right? Like we can take 2 minutes
That's
to
it.
like
That's it.
feel and listen to our breath.
But I think what you brought up there, Danica, is also so important is that they're not aware of
Mm,
that being
yeah,
a thing. It's like,
yeah.
what do you mean, my nervous system? I thought my nervous system was nervous systeming on its own. Now I
Mm,
have to worry
yeah.
about my nervous system.
Yes,
Are you
yeah.
serious?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it feels, I mean, this brings us all the way back to like why working with children is so important, but
Mm,
until something happens, right? It's the same, like let's just roll with like the teeth. Until we get a cavity, then we're like, shit, I knew that I probably
dang
shouldn't be
it.
flossing, or I
Yeah.
knew that like going to bed and being like, meh, I'll brush my teeth in the morning. Like maybe I should have kept up with that regimen, right? When our nervous system is like, girl, what have you been doing? You can't listen to me. I've given you so many of these red
Mm,
flags, like little palpitations here and there, little like
exactly.
you're hungry for breath, like that air hunger that you're feeling, not being able to sleep. You know what? Fuck it. I'll give you a panic attack. If you
Yeah.
cannot hear me through all of these
Take
little,
that.
take this. And then we have to be like, oh.
What the?
Wait a minute. I'm so sorry for ignoring you for all of this time. I'm here. I'll listen. I apologize, right? Like, hopefully it doesn't have to get to that point, but I find that many people, to include myself,
Mm,
will get to that point and then they
mm,
realize, like, oh,
exactly. Again,
okay. That
exactly.
2 minutes was actually really important. I say all that too. My husband mentioned to me the other day, could you try to give some micro moments? And I was like, "Ugh, what are you talking about?" And he said, sometimes when you're like busy at it with work or you're on call or anything like that, give a micro moment to come in, sit down with your kids. And I'm not asking for a lot, I'm asking for a micro moment. And I thought, like, as I folded my arms and was like, ugh, of course he would be right about this. Like, but then I was like, what a cool concept, right? It
Yes.
didn't seem overwhelming to me. It wasn't asking for much. It was asking for like a micro moment.
I love that.
Yeah,
Micro moment.
Yeah.
You should trademark that. Or he should trademark
he
that.
should.
Yes. Big up to your hubby. Um, and I think that's all we can hope for is micro moments because
Right.
we are busy. We are not going to sit in meditation for an hour. Some people don't want to meditate. Some people don't
Yeah.
enjoy meditating. Do you know what I mean? But you
Yeah.
can just, yeah, you can just take a micro moment to be with
Mm,
your kid, to be with yourself.
yeah.
And like you say, I always say quality is better than quantity, and that's quality,
Mm,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Do you know what's the most common time in the day where everybody is actually aware of their thoughts?
2 o'clock.
6 p.m.
1:30.
Okay, it's not actually a time, but it's when
Oh, darn it.
This was a
not
trick
actually,
question.
not actually a time.
2:55.
Maybe more. I misworded that. It could have been an activity. But do you know what that activity is? When you're in
Tell
the
us.
shower. Because when you're in the shower, is whatever you're thinking about in the shower is generally number one, probably the thing that's bothering you, or the thing that you know that you need to do, or it's basically the moments. Because when you're in the shower, you're not thinking about, I have to wash this arm right now. So this is my thought process. You're literally thinking about your problems, your
Mm,
solutions, your anxiety. All of those things come out during that time. And I actually started using that as my breathing time in the shower. I don't want to think
Nice.
yeah.
anything in the shower. I
Want to
just
breathe?
want to stand there I want to
Yes.
enjoy the water. I want to breathe. And then I want to listen. I mean, when ladies shower, we burn ourselves with the water. So
Yes, true.
versus men, completely different
Indeed.
experience. But I mean, I still use it, even though my body's moving and doing something that it would normally do, just like brushing your teeth.
Hmm.
I don't want to think anything in the shower. I want it to be a space always of just like, it's my breathing time. And it smells nice in here because of all the soaps and my shampoo and my girly stuff. And this is the time where I'm dedicating to myself every day, my shower time.
Yeah.
I
I
know that
love
sounds
it.
ridiculous, but
No,
It
I
if
love
I
doesn't.
that.
It
don't,
doesn't. In fact,
if
I'm
I
going to
don't do
shower
it,
tonight and do breathing.
Yes, me too. That's what I'm gonna do.
It's going to be a moment. It's
it,
going to be more than a micro moment.
I love it.
listen, I mean, I don't want to call your shower a macro moment because in coaching philosophy that we're talking about food, right? So let's not call it the macro moment, but I think that there is something to it because
Mhm.
when you're kind of in touch with your body and your surroundings and you're trying to regulate your nervous system. What is really important is what do I hear? What do I see? What can I
Yeah,
smell? How
smell.
do I feel? So all of those moments are encapsulated for me in the shower because I'm like, oh, this is a joyful experience. I have things to smell and it's not me, it's the lovely
Mm.
accoutrements. But it's still activating my different senses in a way that's pleasurable for me. And I notice whenever I'm stressed, I don't have good shower time because I'm thinking about everything that's going to
Yes.
happen during the day and all the things that upset me yesterday. I catch myself immediately and I'm like, ooh, that's bad. Don't do that. Let's try this again.
Yeah,
So try to shower too. I think it's a
I'm
great
going
time
to.
for you.
yeah, I love it. Well, this was absolutely amazing. There are so many other things that I want to explore.
Same.
Of
Same.
course, but there's so many things. I appreciate everything that you have provided to us. And just like you are so knowledgeable in this. And I must say, too, just listening to your voice was very like calming. I was like, I could just listen to her all day, like just her voice, just keep talking. I don't care what you're talking about. I'm regulating myself just listening.
ASMR.
I love it. But I think that having you on again would be something I would love to do because there's a lot of
Oh,
different ways or there's just more questions that I have. And I know that the listeners probably have more questions too. But
yeah.
what is one, I guess, if people could do anything today? We've talked about a lot of different things. But if you could say, I challenge you to do this one thing today, and do you accept the challenge? What would it be?
Oh my goodness, that is such a big question to end with. One challenge for all the people. Um, Let me think. I challenge you today
Good
to,
breath.
okay, yeah. I challenge you to every night when you get into bed, take 5 conscious breaths.
Mm,
That is it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Conscious breaths. Okay,
Five.
so now I
Okay.
have to educate my husband and tell him we're no longer doing box breathing because we're consciously breathing.
He's gonna
Okay.
take his
Yes.
phone. He's gonna take his phone and be like, okay, off the to-do list.
Yeah.
Yes,
No more alerts.
exactly.
Yeah. And then let me add breathing to my list of things to do today because my body doesn't know how
Correct.
to do it on its own. Thanks, mine.
I love that. That's
Oh,
such
this
a
has been so
easy,
fun.
that's an easy thing to do. That is easy. I love that. So
Hmm.
five
Just
conscious breaths.
5 conscious breaths.
Love it.
That's it.
Love it.
Okay.
Where can our listeners find you? Your
Well, you can
platforms
find,
and everything.
yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Natalie Gianoglio. So it's Natalie Gianoglio. But I'm sure it will be pasted in the show
In the
Yes.
notes.
write-up.
Yep, it
Yeah.
will be.
Yeah. So, yeah. I look forward
Amazing.
to speaking to you both again. That was super fun.
It was. Well, thank you
Likewise.
so much, Fatima. Any final words that you have?
Oh, you know what? Natalie gave me so much homework today for my body to just do the things. So I'm not going to leave you with any final words, but I am going to say one thing. I personally follow Natalie on Instagram, and every day there is something that she's posting that's always pulling me out of my own brain that helps me. So, like, sometimes I'll just be scrolling social media and there's a story from her, and it's like, relax, unclench your jaw. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, ma'am. Okay. And it was such a good thing that happened because when it popped up on my feed, I'm always, Danica and I are the same. We're looking for research, we're looking for studies, we're learning on Instagram. And of course, we're catching up with our friends and doing the things. And I just, as it came up, I was like, I realize how much I need that reminder sometimes, even if it is coming from social media, which is the place where my brain sometimes also goes to die. So
Yeah.
I encourage everyone to follow Natalie because it's a really good reminder just for you if you forget to do your conscious breaths or check in with your breathing 3 times a day. Instagram will notify you when you see her online.
Yeah.
So follow her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing. Well, Natalie, thank you so
Awesome.
much. And hopefully we will have you on again.
Yes, I look forward to
Awesome.
it.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone. Have a
you.
great day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.